But yeah, that's how I feel. But we'll go later too. I think longing crypto is a much better strategy as of right now. So we'll see. And that's why I do have some DSCR overnight because it's crypto related. So I like that a lot. So we'll see.
Viewers, could you let them know what your hands are made of?
You see these hands? Diamonds, baby. Diamonds. Diamonds.
All right, everybody, welcome back to This Week in Steady Trade. As usual, I just got Kyle and Jack with me. Today we're going to go over, I'll let Kellogg explain how he's currently feeling about the market. And then Kyle can bring us home. And hopefully I can add something somewhere in between. So Kellogg, how you feeling?
We're only 2 days into May so far, trading wise, 2 trading days. It is May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Haven't seen that a lot. It's kind of funny. But I mean, it's been tough for the long side. There's been some nice plays, but I don't know if I'm being too lazy and seeing them too late, or just, everything's kind of failing to follow through. Whereas, February, January, and previous months, it was okay to be kind of later to these moves. But now it feels like if you're not capturing that initial move and you start to size in for that next move, it just fails and goes in the opposite direction, and it gets choppy, and then it can come back and make your revenge trade or make you angry. And it's just not a lot of clean moves. On the long side, I think I'm like over 4 on breakouts so far this month. HTZ GQ. That was a huge breakout over $3 with really positive news. Closed really strong and gapped down 10 to 15% this morning. Took a hefty loss on that. RATC double topped that high day and faded into the close. GVSI just went sideways. DSCR, that has a breakout. We'll see how that one does tomorrow. But the breakouts have just been pretty weak. And considering the SPY also is pulling back, it's been really, really tough for longs. The shorting has still been pretty. Shorting's been pretty good. I think that BTX finally topped out yesterday, and that's kind of starting its backside momentum now. And I had a good short on that, but so far, I mean, not so much these first 2 days. We'll see how the rest of the month goes. But once again, just, taking my foot off the pedal and trading the first hour, and really just trying to focus on shorts now over going long this month, because the market's showing me really quickly that, shorting is where the high win percent is right now, and the risk to reward as well. And going long, it just seems like you're going to lose more often than you're going to win. So that's kind of what I have. What are you thinking on the market, Kyle?
I agree with those things. I am also, again, only the first 2 days of the month. So we still have 20 something days left, 18 something days left. But I'm like 0 for 3 for longs. Lost about, I also was, we can go in the charts, but HTZ GQ was definitely a unfortunate loss, considering I was up over like 6-7K into the close, and then ended up losing like almost 2K on the gap down. So that was really shitty. But yeah, shorts kept me alive today. I was probably down 4K total between the 3 or 4 longs I took, but I made around 8K on the longs. So I'm up like 4,000 ish on the day, 7K in the week, 2 days. It's pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with that. Not necessarily for the money, but just in terms of how many plays there's been. Like, it seems like we're speeding up than April and March, but so far the longs have been unsatisfactory, if you could put it that way. But yeah, that's how I feel. But we'll go later too. I think longing crypto is a much better strategy as of right now. So we'll see. And that's why I do have some DSCR overnight, because it's crypto related. So I like that a lot. So we'll see.
Viewers, could you let them know what your hands are made of?
You see these hands? Diamonds, baby. Diamonds. Diamonds.
I love it. I think you guys hit the nail on the head. Because like where I'm most confident in sizing up is usually that secondary move. And lately my day, or at least the last 2 days for sure, has gone, I'll nail that first move with like small size. like off a dip in the morning and hit the morning spike, and then I'll wait for the pullback. And then usually my strategy is like that secondary move at like 10 a.m. or into the afternoon. And I'll like size in for that, and then it just fizzles out. So like I'm ending the day green, but like money wise pretty small, because I trade the first move pretty small size because I'm just not as confident in it, and then I end up taking a loss later in the afternoon. So hopefully we get some more follow through momentum, start seeing some bigger moves again. But yeah, I think with the whole, we're going to talk about it, but with everything going on with Dogecoin, I think it's kind of sucking some of the liquidity out of just the penny stock market, because all you degenerates out there are just buying Dogecoin for whatever reason. So, all right, Kyle, show us what you got, and then we can talk about the Doge madness.
Do you want to start us off, Jack, with this bad boy?
Yeah, HTZ. HTZ, I remember when we were playing the dips back in the 50, 60, 70, 80 cent range. And it's just been an absolute phenomenal grind, back, hold, grind, and then finally busted through huge key levels. I mean, it busted through a multi-day key level, a multi-week key level, multi-month on huge volume around that $3 area. So, I mean, now to get into the daily chart, like the daily chart was absolutely phenomenal. And now to get into the intraday, you can see that, you know, the pattern that HTZQ created was so bullish all day, where it had that initial morning spike and went sideways. And this time it, you know, it had that follow through momentum. I actually missed that midday breakout because I've been taking the midday session off. But I got back for around the afternoon session, and I got long a little bit around that $2.93 area when it broke high day. Usually that's not a spot where I like to buy, but since it proved to have good follow through midday there on the same kind of pattern, I gave it a shot. And nothing crazy. I took like 15 cents. I took it from like the high 290s to like 315 or something. And I just locked in a single, like a couple grand. And then my plan was to buy the closing price or buy a big dip, and ended up going too big on it. I bought like 40,000 shares at 321 for a gap up, just because the daily chart was super strong, and it kind of reminded me of like an LKNCY or, you know, something that's strong all day that usually leads to a big gap up and morning spike. And it's kind of some positive bankruptcy news, but then they had a press release this morning and they reworded it, and it got a really, really bad reaction, and had that massive gap down. So ended up selling that at the open and taking a big loss. And it's just unfortunate. Probably should have gone smaller considering how overextended it was, but the daily chart just, you know, spoke to me. That kind of daily chart in February, you know, that's going 5, 6, 7 easy. And there wasn't too much resistance until that 5, 6, 7 area. And HTZ has proven to be a multi-day runner. So I was willing to take the risk on it. And yeah, it didn't end so well. And I ended up probably losing like 16, 17 grand on it, which is way too big of a loss, especially for this market. It's basically all I got there. And then a couple other breakouts failed as well. So just gonna really step back from aggressive long trading until I see, or until I'm able to capitalize on, you know, 20, 30% moves. But just a tough trade over there overall for me.
Yeah, this was unfortunate. I had the same idea as Jack did, except I didn't have nearly as bad of a loss because I did long it around the same area in the 280s and 290s, longed it all the way up here, sold a little bit, and then immediately re-added what I sold. So locking in, I think I locked in around like 2K or so. So that was really good to lock that in, but I did add that same size back here. And the news was, I mean, it wasn't necessarily news. I think it was a Seeking Alpha article that said like, there are companies, you know, having a bidding war over HTZ as a company. And some of them even saying that they would give some of the shareholders value, whereas most bankruptcies result in the shareholders getting nothing. So that's what it was so bullish. And I thought to myself, like, this news is so good that, or at least this hype around it is so good that the only thing I could see happening is if a negative PR came out. And so I kind of jinxed myself thinking that. because that's what happened. And right, as Jack said, just a nasty gap down, really unfortunate. So I sold right away. Luckily, because like I said, I locked in almost 2K here. I lost like 4K here on this gap down. So only was down about 2K on the trade. Reshorted this midday bounce here and made that 2K back. So I'll break even on HEZ today. But my main trade that was, and then the same thing, the other tickers that me and Jack failed on were RETC and GBSI. Not going to go much over them. They were just, former runners that just failed. We thought it was going to break out, failed. There was a loss there. GBSI still didn't break. The GBSI technically held its breakout over like 3.8, 3.9, and technically closed sideways near 4 cents or above 4 cents. We'll see what it does tomorrow. I have no position, and I'm pretty much the way it was moving, how choppy it is. I just didn't like it. DSCR though, I mentioned I am long this overnight. They have crypto related news, and with crypto being hot, which I'll get into right after this, it's hot. So the fact that we started really surging, getting some volume, and I took some at 2-3. So we'll see the next day if we set a gap of a morning spike, which I think the odds are in my favor. But yeah, before I move on, anything to add, Matt? Anything you want to go over? Have you traded any of these?
No, I've actually been trading listed. I can go over PRPO really quickly. That was my main trade today. So this one ran yesterday, ran after hours, and my thought process was just like, any shorts, like if this gets over, I think it was $7 was the previous highs, a little over 7, like 720s. So if this gets over this level, any short in this is just screwed. They're going to have to cover. There's going to be a squeeze. So I was just watching out of the morning, and we had this classic. Bohen calls it dip and rip. It's exactly what happened. First minute out of the gate, we just dipped and then immediately surged back. I bought it right around 7, and it immediately swiped up and halted, which I'm not a fan of halts. They can be fun. Like you get like a little excited when you're like, yeah, like I'm right, I'm in a halt. But more times than not, it's just super annoying. I ended up selling like the 770s, like 774-ish right after that halt. And then it dipped again. Same thing happened, kind of gave like shorts a little breather and then swiped up and halted again. I was not part of that move. The first halt just kind of scared me off. If it was more of an organic spike, I probably would have held it. And as you can see here, ultimately just got crushed and faded. So clearly there were some big players in the game, or there's just too many shorts. Like they kept giving shorts just enough air to like let them think they're okay, and then they'd swipe it right up into a halt. So they got crushed in the morning, but then, once that momentum and once the squeeze was kind of squoze, we really faded pretty hard here from 9 all the way to lows of 5s, got crushed this afternoon. And that's kind of just the failed follow through momentum. Like, Jack referenced, like if this was February, this thing could have gone to like 12, 15, like who knows how high it could have gone. But with the overall market, the SPY and the Qs today just getting absolutely crushed, there was not much momentum in listed land to the long side. So yeah, that's what I pretty much did today.
Nice. Right out the open and easy. That's something I noticed too with listed. I've been saying this forever, but I've never been able to have conviction to follow through. But usually stocks that like go parabolic out the open, like this hard and this quickly, like seem to like blow off all their steam too early and just lose it in the morning. And then literally the rest of the day is all day fade, which this is another example of that. So gotta rethink that when I want to look to short one of these things, because I might want to be a little more aggressive, especially if it just keeps failing and failing and failing like PRPO did today.
Yeah, looking at this chart in hindsight, just the day's over. So like I never would have taken this trade, but the way it failed and then just respected VWAP so nicely at like 10 a.m. there.
Yeah.
That's beautiful for a short seller. Hindsight trading, but
I almost took it. I remember watching this at 7. I was like, man, this actually would be a really great short risking 730. And then literally that minute is when this happened. So I was like, okay, well, I can't short now. So that was that. But my best trade of the day was on ETCG. This is the Grayscale Ethereum Classic Trust. So technically on a stock, it's like a fund that represents Ethereum Classic, but it's going to trade like a stock. So I treat it the same way. If you look at the daily chart, something as me being a short seller loves, like really extended, almost 2 huge green days now. This is a wrong wick, it's close higher up here, but seeing how it's following Ethereum Classic, well, I want to know what Ethereum Classic is doing as a crypto. So I've been watching it through. Well, I found out today you can watch it through this website, bitcoinwisdom.io. ETC. Let's see, where is it? Right here. Boom. So ETCG has just been following ETC. And so if we go to the daily chart, like it looks very similar, just a huge extension. And in the morning, when we go to the intraday, go to like a 15-minute, this huge kind of blow off move, and then this hard selling for about an hour or two. As I saw this happen, and as extended as it was, I thought it was due for a pullback. So I did actually short ETCG around 54 here, as kind of like, we made a morning spike, and now a clear big higher or lower high, and we just fall apart. We really start falling apart. I start covering in like fifths, like some in the 50s, some in the high 40s, and I think my best cover was like 46, 47. Locked in 5K throughout that fade. It ended up actually fading lower, but once I saw Ethereum Classic start bouncing, I thought it would too. So missed this last pull, but then it actually did start bouncing. Looking at it now, I mean, we've pulled, bounced like I thought we would, and now we're holding near highs again. So I would not be surprised if we went higher. Now we could just fail here. This could be like really nice resistance now in like the 65 range. But if we keep going and go to 70, 75, wherever, I would expect ETCG to go again to maybe 67 or 60, 65. We'll see. Either way, there's still a red day due for not only ETCG, but obviously for ETC as well. Just going to the daily chart again, we're multiple green days up in a row. Shorting crypto is riskier, I would say, because it's much more explosive. But I think if you time it well and you're patient enough, like I am, it can be done. So that's how I like to do it. I don't like to step in front of things, and I like to take the easy, predictable moves, which was this on ETCG today. And that's it. If I try to fight it and been like, let's reshort this bounce, taking this overnight is extremely risky. I have no idea if we're going to gap up, no idea if we're going to gap down. So I just like taking that predictable move and running with it. So
I like it. All right, let's bring out the Doge.
So tell them the thesis behind Doge with penny stocks and now Doge, Matt.
All right, yeah. So Doge, like, you've definitely heard of it. Like, everyone's talking about it, and honestly, it's just like, to a trader, like, it's kind of comical. Super cool to see. Like, I'm not a part of this at all. Like, if you look up their website, it literally, like, the description of the currency is like, it is created as a joke. That's how Coinbase describes it. But sometimes, shit floats to the top. So we have Doge here that's just going nuts, literally from under a penny. Say hit a high of 61 cents. And my theory is, well, there's a couple of theories. One, it's being pumped, promoted, whatever you want to call it, because Elon Musk calls himself the Doge father now, which is awesome. And he is going live Saturday Night Live, May 8th. So we're all thinking this is gonna, it probably is gonna run to $1. If you look up Dogecoin, everyone's like, oh, it's going to $1. So all those uneducated traders out there are buying Doge. And realistically, it probably hits $1, because if you just get enough idiots out there, it's gonna happen. It's self-fulfilling prophecy. So this is just crazy. But I think May 8th, when Elon goes on Saturday Night Live, this will be a Sell the News event. It's gonna get crushed, and unless something just miracle happens, this thing's gonna be under a penny in a year from now. So, but yeah, basically my thought process is penny stocks are slower because Dogecoin is kind of sucking up all the liquidity. If you're on Robinhood, you can trade Dogecoin, and when you're getting these percent moves, in the last 3 weeks, it's gone from 10 cents to 61 cents. Why would you trade stocks? You can get some crazy percent moves in Dogecoin. So I think a lot of that money's tied up from all the Robinhood traders, and they're now trading Dogecoin, which honestly, as also a part-time crypto trader, I like this. This could heat up crypto. I've talked to Kyle about this. Like in 2016, like before the crazy altcoin runs, Dogecoin kind of started it. It just like it introduces people into a new realm. Like 2020 was the year of the penny stock for sure. 2021 could be pretty freaking crazy for crypto if all these Doge millionaires out there start trying to invest in other things. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with all that. I think the same thing where everyone's going to buy in anticipation of the Doge father going on SNL. And once he goes on, what is he going to say? Like, ta-da, like, here it is. Like, it's make a couple jokes. The TV network really probably wouldn't allow him to say anything outrageous like, I think it's going to go $2 or he'll just say the moon. I almost promise you, let's timestamp this. I almost promise you the Doge father will make a joke about the moon, about Doge, just because it's SNL and they're funny. But yeah, like everyone who was usually in Robinhood accounts that spent their money on stocks now can easily, and they're just chasing the new shiny object, which is crypto, specifically Dogecoin. So again, Matt nailed it on the head. I couldn't agree more. And hopefully this just heats up other coins,
Anything to add, Jack?
I am a proud NU hodler.
And NU. Let's look if I can even see this chart. NU. Oh, no.
I don't think it's on there.
Oh, that shows you how good of a hold that is, Jack.
I'm a proud NU hodler. It's at like 50 cents. So hopefully some fools buy that and think it's a shiny object too.
There we go.
Awesome. All right. That's pretty much all I got. Let's close her out here, boys. Yeah, as usual, thanks for coming on. If you're new, make sure you like, subscribe. We do this every week. We might have passed a year. I'm gonna have to double check, but we've been doing this for a year. Like, do you know the date?
Hold on. We can confirm this right here. Hold on.
No, basically I was gonna say, like, a lot of people watch these in the first week, maybe first 2 weeks, and then they don't revisit. Yeah, the stocks might be outdated, but the lessons and also just our journeys are like super well documented in these twist episodes. So make sure you go watch them all. There's lessons. We covered like a full year of the market cycle: hot market, insane market, slow down market. Kyle, when was the first one?
Our first episode was April 16th, 2020.
Hey.
So we passed. We didn't even know. Yeah.
Make sure you go watch it. I was like a little baby.
Before you got that stress vein.
Before I got the fucking stress vein.
Before Vincent came along.
Don't trade stocks. It's stressful. I got white hair too. You just can't see it on camera. But thank you guys. Again, make sure you like, subscribe. We do this every week. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks for joining.